Hello world, and welcome to Coding After Effects Back to Basics. In this tutorial, I want to talk about the key method and what the key method does. The key method returns a key or marker key object. That by itself is not really that helpful with any type of project, but if we was to return the keyframe information or the time information, we can do a lot with it. So let me show you how to do that. In this setup, I have a ball on the screen, and it's going to go from the left side of the composition to the right. And what I want to do is I want to get the information, key information from this ball. So I'm going to do it in this text layer. So I'm going to go down here to source text, and I'm going to alt click, and I'm going to use the pick whip to get the ball position. Now in this array here, I'm going to get rid of it and put in key. And in parentheses, I'm going to type in 1 and see what I get. You see, it returns the object key. Like I said before, the object key by itself is not really all that helpful. But if I was to type in at the end, time, we get the time of the first keyframe. And I can prove that I got the first keyframe time information if I was to move this keyframe right here from left to right. You can see as I move it, where the number is actually changing over here, representing the time that I move it to. So if I was to move it back to 0 again, you see we get 0. And the count starts from 1. So if I was to write in 2, I would get this keyframe at the end right here. So I'm going to type in 2. And since it's at the first second, then I should get 1 up there. And to prove that I selected the second keyframe, I'm going to move it up and down like I did before. And as you can see, as I move it, it changes the number in the composition representing the time in the timeline. Now, if I wanted to get the value of position, I can also get that. So if I go down here and get rid of time and type in value, and if I was to get rid of 2 to get the very first keyframe, then I'll get rid of that and type in 1 and push enter on the number pad. As you can see down here, the first value for position is 172, and if you look up here, it's 172.1, but this is the same, it's just this is rounded off. And if I was to look at the second number, which is 493, and I look over here, we get the same number. So what if I wanted to grab something else besides just keyframe? What if I wanted to grab markers? Well, we can do that too. And the markers don't really have to be in a layer. The markers can also be in the composition. So if I was to click out of this ball layer and I was to move my time indicator somewhere and make a marker, I can grab that information, and all I have to do is get rid of position all the way to layer, keep this comp, and type in marker. And if I get rid of this, I should get an object, which is object marker key. Now if I was to go back in here and type value, we get another object, which is marker property. Not valuable, but what we really want from here is time, which again is giving me the time that it represents. And if I was to move it, the time changes. So I am grabbing it. So now let's imagine that we're working on a bigger project and I have multiple markers just throughout the timeline, like hundreds, and I wanted to grab one specific marker. Well, I can do that without having to count so many markers, and that's by naming the marker and grabbing it from its name. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a couple markers. That should be good enough. And I'm going to grab the marker from over here. So if I double click on the marker and write in this comment section, grab, and push OK, this marker now has a name or a comment that says grab. And if I was to go back to the key method and get rid of this 1 and type in grab, and oh yeah, almost forgot the parentheses. In parentheses, type in grab. You see we get this very evil number over here, but that's okay because we grabbed it. Now if I was to move this marker from left to right, you see it's changing as I move it. So we really did grab it. And that's the keyframe method. And with the keyframe method, again, you can get the time information. You can also get values for different keyframes. And as a bonus, I want to also show you a way to get the amount of keys in a composition or a layer. And to do that, all I have to do is come in here in the expression editor and get rid of key and write numKeys. It's giving us the number of markers that we have in our composition right now. And if I wanted to get the number of keyframes in here, of course, all I have to do is select this, use the pick whip, go to position, and put dot numKeys. And we get 2. And this is the number of keys that we have in our ball layer position property. And that is it for the key method. I hope you learned something. And if you enjoy this, watch my other videos. Until next time, peace out, world.